Hi, my name is Hassan Khosravi, and I'm an associate professor in data science. In this short video, I'll be talking about my experience in retiring the red pen and marking exams digitally using Gradescope. The many challenges of marking exams or assignments manually. You need to organize a marking party. You need to manage the paper movement for paper exams. Grading consistency is a challenge. It's hard to estimate each tutor's contribution. Grade entry is time consuming. It's boring and error prone. Returning exams or midterms with the feedback to students might be challenging. If it's a paper exam, again, going back, preserving the integrity of the handed back assignment or exam might be a challenge. And it's also hard to avoid marking biases. That's why for the past few years, I've been using Gradescope for marking exams and assignments. How have I been using Gradescope? So I use it both for marking exams and assignments. For marking exams, we scan the student work. So we write the exam in a paper format first, and then we scan it. Now, this may seem like quite a lot of work, but for a class of 600 students with a final exam of 20-ish papers, it takes us less than 2 hours to get all the scannings done. Once the exams are digitized, we grade the submissions using Gradescope. Then we send the grades back to the students. We export the grades to Blackboard, and then we get detailed analytics about what has happened in the exam. For assignments, the main difference is that students can submit their work directly to Gradescope. Once they've done that, we similarly grade the submissions, send and export grades, and get detailed analytics about the work. What was the benefit of using Gradescope? I've found many benefits in terms of using Gradescope for marking. First of all, exams are completely anonymous to markers, which eliminates any marking bias. So essentially, a tutor will see a question and a response to a question without knowing who the actual writer of that, who the student who wrote that response is. It's possible to change the marking rubric on the fly. So if you have a detailed marking rubric for the question, you can change it on the fly, change a -1.2 to 1.5 is needed, and it will retrospectively change all the previous assignments you've marked. It provides flexibility with respect to location and time of marking, because obviously everything is digitized, so you don't need to have your tutors in a room or a working party to get all of the marking done together. It really helps with saving time. My approximation is that we've reduced our marking by 50% in terms of the time it takes. The grade totals are computed automatically. It simplifies grade entry reporting process. That's automatic. It's easy to return the exams because you just return it by email. It uses AI-assisted grading where similar responses are clustered together and you mark one of them and the same mark will be given to all of the questions in the cluster. And logistical issues associated with tracking and managing the exam workflow is also eliminated. It provides more accountability because you know exactly who marked each of the questions in an exam. It's easier to manage resources. This is the page you will see. And for example, you can see that if you have another tutor, perhaps question 4 is where marking is a little delayed and you can add more resource power here in order to get the marking done quickly. It also allows you to look at the contributions done by each individual tutor to know how much of the marking they have done. It provides very rich and detailed analytics that are actionable. For example, for a particular question, you can see to what extent each item of the rubric have been applied to find general misconceptions in the class that you might want to go back and discuss with the entire class. Just a few quick tips in terms of if you're looking to use Gradescope, try to find a good and reliable flow for scanning the exams. What has worked for us is we batch the exams in groups of 10s and 20s. We take the corners off with the staples and then we scan the batch of the 10 and the 20 together. Use simple rubric criteria that is easy for students to comprehend and understand. This is going to go back to students. Obviously, they need to be able to make sense of it. Now, from the platform perspective, it's possible to mix positive and negative marking rubrics. For example, for question 1, you can use positive marking, and for question 2, you can use negative marking. However, I would suggest not to do that because students will find that quite confusing when they get their feedback. I found checking with tutors after 5 or 10% of the marking of a question is done is a good way to get a good sense of how good the rubric is, and just to make sure that if there are multiple people in particular that are marking the question, that there's alignment in terms of their understanding and expectation of the rubric. And finally, set firm deadlines with tutors and follow up with them as needed. The platform would always allow you to see what percentage of marking for a question is done. So if something is falling behind, you can follow up with your tutors ahead of time to make sure that you are meeting deadlines.